What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk. My name is Jon.
I'm Jarese.
And we're gonna have an amazing conversation today. In fact, Jarese actually came up with a dope title. I think we're gonna use it. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe.
Yep.
But Jarese, I'm gonna alley you this oop because you came up with the title. What's the title?
Okay, so we're gonna call it Purpose Over Plans.
Ooh, purpose over plans.
So we're talking about today.
God's purpose
Over our plans.
That's great. I'm ready. I'm excited.
Let's get it.
But one of the things that happened in 2020 was it just completely changed the script on our ability to be there for people, right? Like before quarantine, if I was gonna say, hey, Jarese, make a difference in your school, I'd probably tell you, hey, you see someone bullying someone, go talk to him.
Right.
But it's different now, you know? So how do you feel like you've been able to adjust to go like, man, I want to love people like Jesus loved people. I want to have a purpose in God, but how can that look like in quarantine? Like what's that been like for you?
So for me, you know, I have a sufficient friend group.
Yeah.
And for me, I like to see my friends like uplifted because I like to spread my good energy and good vibes.
Right.
So when I see them down, because I have my down days too. Quarantine has been hard. Like, I just want to say that for anyone out there. Like, I just try to reach out to them and tell them like they're loved and that like if anything, I'm always here. I always tell all my boys that, or everybody, I'm always here for you.
Yeah.
If you ever need someone to talk to, I feel like that's serving God too, because like not every time like God's gonna come down and be there and like lay his head on it, let them lay his head on his shoulders or anything like that.
He sends us.
Exactly. Yeah. He sends his messengers, his like, so.
What have been some ways that like, maybe in some of the tough situations our country's been facing, whether it's racism or just divided over everything. I feel like people always find something to be divided about. Like what are some ways that you've been able to try to make a difference in that lane?
Well, talking, you know, just like I'm talking to you, talking to people that are not of my color, you know?
Yeah.
And just letting them know that, you know, I don't hate you, because I think people think that we come out and we hate them. I don't hate you. I just want a fair chance at life, just like you. You know, I don't want to be looked down on because I have intellect just like you. You know, I have parents just like you. Like we came from the same place. I don't want to be looked down on. Like if I'm here for you, I want you to be here for me. And that's the thing. I think that we just have to learn to love each other and not just be like, I hate you, you hate me, and that's how it's always gonna be. I don't hate anyone, you know? Yeah. And when I go out and I'm the only like colored person there, I make sure that I show out, you know? I wanna show people that my light shines even though I'm colored, you know? Like,
let's go.
I'm that guy, you know?
Yeah, that's great. You know, made me think about how like, sometimes when we think about making a difference in the world, my purpose, you know, all that, we make plans that are like so big and lofty, like, yo, I want to speak or I want to pop off on YouTube or, you know, all that stuff. But oftentimes God's purpose, it's not about the big plans.
Exactly.
It's about some of those small moments like of conversation that you've had. Do you think that we live in a culture, like our whole world, that like values platforms, like being famous, being known over purpose?
For sure.
Where do you see that in our culture?
I feel like even myself, I see myself even looking at other people, and it's just like I wish I could be that famous.
Yeah.
But then I track back, and it's like, what are you willing to give up to be that famous? You know, if you're just gonna give up nothing and you're just gonna be something that you're not, then it's not worth it. Like if you want fame, be yourself. You know, you never know what can happen. Be yourself, pursue what you want to pursue, and everything that God has planned for you will come its way. So.
Well, how do you think, like, how would you encourage someone, or how do you think about like the difference between like talking about like Jesus and like letting your life show it? Because I feel like people are in the extremes, right? Like there's some people who I'm like, but you talk about God a lot, but you stank. Like your life is just, I don't want to be like you.
As I said earlier, you know, how I carry myself, I let my light shine when I go out. So like when I said I moved up here, it was different, you know, people, drugs, parties, all that stuff. Whenever I see a bad situation, I leave. I want people to show people that I can be cool, I can be a teenager, I can do all this stuff. But whenever it gets to a level where I feel it's not for me, I'm gonna remove myself to show you that I'm living for a purpose, and that's just not a part of my purpose.
Where has been a time, just being 100% honest, where you had a plan and you knew that God's purpose for your life had to overtake that?
Well, so no one knows. I really wanted to play basketball my whole life, you know? And it just never worked out, you know? I would work out, and stuff would happen. The day before sophomore tryouts, broke my thumb. In the middle, I was doing good. Coaches writing me up and everything. I'm like doing good. Twisted my ankle. And I just went home, and it was really hurtful. I was just like, no one really knows this. You know, I never told anyone that that's how I was feeling. Came down to a decision in quarantine that I'm just gonna give it up, because but he's just showing me that this is not what I have planned for you. And he's like, if you don't see it, and I'm gonna show you. And even though sometimes that's gonna hurt, that's what God is gonna do. He's gonna remove things from your life to shape out your purpose.
Yeah. Because like what some people could hear you saying is like, don't chase your dreams. That's not what you're saying.
Exactly.
It's saying go to God to get clarity on your dreams because He made you.
Right.
And at some point, like I hear you saying like, we could be chasing the wrong dreams. We could have the wrong plans, and we could be wasting time like that. Like, I mean, if I pursue basketball, it'd be the same thing. I just wasn't built for that. Like, I wasn't built for it. I don't have the hand-eye coordination for that. And I wonder if there's some people who they get so fixated on their plans and they're missing God's purpose.
Exactly.
And I feel like, man, like for every missed plan, there's like a new purpose.
Exactly.
So every disappointment, God will unlock a piece of our destiny.
And what we don't understand, we think that it's all like us and all this stuff, and God's like, so where am I in all this?
Yeah.
Where am I in the fact that you go rich?
Yeah.
You don't need me if you are rich. You don't need me if you get that stuff. You don't need me. And I think that's the thing He wants to show you, that like I'm here for you because you need me.
Yeah.
You can't go through this life alone because you just be wandering, selfless and spiritless, you know?
Yeah, man, and I feel like what you just brought up is like sometimes people wonder why they miss God's purpose, but they're not even willing to have a conversation with Him.
Exactly.
Like we need to be available for God to use us, but we also need to make ourselves available for God to speak to us. And it's like, how can you know the directions if we're not sitting down with the guy who made the map? You know,
It's
and like that's
that on your own.
And that's how you like what you just described. You were like, hey, I'm trying to talk with God. I'm having a conversation, whether on the go or I'm setting aside time, and He's speaking to me.
Right.
And I feel like people just need to know, like, some real talk, like. The number one thing you got to do to hear from God is just make space. Like, you don't need to know everything. You don't even need to necessarily know where to start in the Bible. That helps. You know, we got YouVersion plans for that, e-group leaders that help with that. But at the end of the day, you just got to make some time and space.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this, Jarese. Okay. Like, final question for someone sitting at home. Like, how could people like walk in the purpose of God as a middle school and high schooler? Like, what are some things that they could do, you know?
Like, be there. Be your brother's keeper. Be your sister's keeper. Be there for people. You know, we're all humans. We need each other. You helping each other would help you to better understand what God has planned for you. If it's not for me, He removes it.
That's right.
I've seen it so much. And even though it hurts me, I knew it was Him because I'm talking to Him all the time. Exactly. And I knew I was talking to Him. Like, He's showing me, I got you. Just keep trusting me. Keep trusting me, and I'm going to show you the way.
What I love about Jesus, man, and I feel like it's what we get to do and walk in our purpose, is He was there for people, like you said. And when Jesus stood next to someone or He cared for them, He was not saying, hey, I agree with everything you do, or like you're perfect. And I think sometimes we can say, well, I'm not like them, or I don't agree with everything. But I feel like our light, it's not meant for like where other light is. It's meant for dark places where even people are like, their stuff, you're like, oh, that's gross.
Exactly.
And we gotta be there. We gotta be present. I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation with myself and Jarese. And I want you guys to do this: like, subscribe, and put in the comments a way that you are gonna walk in God's purpose. We don't just have to be stuck in quarantine. God can use us right here, right now. We believe in the youth.
Hey, did you like that video?
I did.
What is your favorite part, Tim?
The middle.
Oh, of course, that was my favorite part too.
Absolutely.
For more content just like this, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment your favorite video below. It's so good!